America, like
Yeah.
more Americans, like they play for fun, they play for the rush. The Euros are like we play to make some money, but like the
Right.
Americans are like, dude, I just want to have some fun. I just want to gamble. I just want to. So it's really good you're bringing those things back. I'm gonna take a few questions from the viewers
Sure.
that I think we all are curious about. The first one is, do you guys have any intention of getting a Mac client down the road?
Yes. Right. I have. It's. I mean, we have a lot of intentions to do a lot of things. You just have to put everything into perspective, and remember, it's one of the things that's been a real problem in bringing poker back. Right. Is Pokerstars is 80% of the worldwide poker industry. Right.
80.
And that's actually hurt poker a lot. Right. And I explain why. Because when they're 80% of the industry, it's kind of like comparing, I don't know, Microsoft with Bob's computer store.
Yeah, Bob just doesn't have a shot.
Bob doesn't have a shot, and when you walk into Bob's shop, all you're thinking about is what that big giant monster, what Microsoft actually looks like,
Yeah.
right? So it's I mean, you were around for the last million, and we had some problems, and
Yeah.
everybody's been experiencing a lot of the DDoS stuff. So we've done a lot of stuff to help with that. So the real world situations like that put things like a Mac client and a mobile client and things like that on the back burner.
Right. Right.
The only thing that I can say in my defense is name somebody else who's actually making an effort and trying to do something real.
Yep, I'm with you. And I think a thing that a lot of people don't realize as well is that, like, when you start running a business and you start trying to build up a big corporation, whatever you want to call it, you have all these great ideas, but it's not like when you're sitting around with your buddies,
Oh,
like smoking up, you're like, oh, this is a sweet idea, man. Like, we could totally do it. It's like, well, you can do it, but you can't just snap your fingers and make it happen. It takes time, it takes resources. And unless you have the resources of, like you said, the company that has the entire fucking market, you can't just make these things happen overnight. So it's like, guys, give us our time. We'll get it to you in a month. And then, like, if this is what people are prioritizing, they want the Mac, we'll make that more important. But we still can't get it next week because you need coding, you need designers, all that stuff.
And you only have so many resources to go around, and you do what you can. So yes, we are. It's, as a matter of fact, I'm testing a web-based solution
Okay.
that we're beta testing for both cash games and tournaments right now. Right, that would be a solution for Mac, not the end all be all, obviously. And then alternatively, we're gonna be looking at a Mac as soon as we can. I can't make any promises. The fact is when emergencies arise, I got to continue doing the business that I can do, rather than going after that new business. So in the meantime, emulator, it works.
Oh, there's a Mac emulator.
Yeah. If you have a Mac, you download like this little emulator,
Okay.
and now you can play all the Windows programs you want, right?
Okay, Mac emulator. So that's like not as intense as a Bootcamp or a Parallels, and it works.
No, it's like a Parallels. Right?
Okay.
There's a few different things.
Okay.
I'm a complete Mac fish, right? So if I said the wrong thing, it's like a Parallels thing.
Okay, cool. So we'll get like, yeah. I forgot that I can just tell people, like, because the thing is, guys, if you get Parallels or Bootcamp installed on your computer, you still have the Mac side. You just say, okay, today I want it to boot up into Windows, and tomorrow I want it to boot up back into the Mac side. So that stuff's works. Maybe we'll make a little how-to video on that on YouTube at some point. Okay. Justin wants to know, I think I already know the answer to this, but why can we not see Mucked cards at Showdown?
What? It's because it's actually in development, right? I'm going to do it.
Oh shit!
Again,
You're gonna ruin it for the fish?
it's you know what? It's not about it's less about protecting the fish, right?
Okay.
And apologize if you're a fish that I called you a fish.
Fish don't acknowledge that they're fish, man. So it's fine.
All right. So I actually didn't address that to
Anybody.
right? Because no, it's the people who nobody knows who they are. The Muck Cards at Showdown is going to be more about transparency to the players.
Okay.
Right. That to help to build that trust. Right. I feel like that's probably more important than protecting the fish.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to do it. It's oddly enough, we thought we had it, and then when I started testing it, and I said, wait a minute, in the replayer it works like this, and there's just so many facets of something. Like there's so many different instances of whether the cards should be shown or who can see them, and how it's written in the hand history, and it really gets into a lot of logic if it wasn't originally written that way. It's far more than you actually think it might be, but it will come, so you will see it.
Okay, cool. And the other one that I'm actually quite curious about, and I would assume again that this is in the pipeline, mobile client. Any plans for that?
Actually, I'll leak our first mobile client, right, is going to have just Jackpot sit and goes.
Just Jackpot sit and go. Okay.
I'm about a month away from releasing the three-handed lottery sit and goes.
Okay.
Right? I'll be the only U.S. facing site that has it.
Yeah.
I just got the test client yesterday and kind of watched it happen and everything, and there's some bugs and we're working on it.
Cool.
But we'll be releasing that in about a month. So all of you guys in the U.S. that heard about spin and goes and Jackpot sit and goes and everything and lottery sit and goes and what's the hoopla, you'll actually get them. Right? Okay. And part of that is going to be building an HTML5 app that you can download, so you can sit there and degen and play Jackpot sit and goes on your phone.
Tap the screen instead of clicking the button.
There you go. That's what it's about.
And I think people who play on the cell phone, that's the kind of action they're more likely going to want than like being able to grind. I actually heard an interesting stat the other day that like cell phone users now outnumber PC users. Like the mobile market is more important than the PC market, which blows my mind. But I guess that's just like the evolution of technology.
Well, I actually just got back from a big conference in London. Mm-hmm. Two of them. It's LAC and ICE. And one of the interesting things that I found out is with mobile, you're actually getting a lot of acquisition, right? A lot of new players are coming in from mobile.
Yeah.
But the percentage of rake, like the number of hands dealt on mobile, is like 3%.
Right.
So it's great to introduce people to poker, but it's still, the desktop is where, there's something, I don't know, there's something private about poker that, if I'm on my phone, I don't want you looking over my shoulder at what I'm doing. I don't know. It seems different.
Yeah, that's true. If I'm going to watch porn, it's going to be on my phone and not on my computer. That's for sure.
See, there you go.
Gotta protect it. Some guys asking if you guys can have hand for hand. I really assume that you did have hand for hand.
No, we don't have hand. We don't
Really?
have hand for hand, sadly.
Okay.
But I mean, it's again.
It's good for nits.
Huh? Yeah.
It's good for nitty players. You guys can just stall and make the money.
Yeah, for those guys that sit there and stall, and it's so funny that I look at these things that are, and again, it goes back to the whole Pokerstars thing. For that great big poker boom for Full Tilt and Pokerstars, they got so far ahead of everybody.
Right.
Right. And really, I truly took over poker here, like 3 or 4 months before Black Friday.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, the amount of lead time that I had to make this what it is, it was just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, but we will have it. It's on the list. We actually built. I called it Clitopia, which is a utopian client. Everything that we've always wanted, right? Okay. And going to go through a whole rewrite, move into a different language, and doing all this really boring stuff, and eventually releasing something that's comparable to Stars or Tilt or whatever else.
And it's the kind of work that players and young kids don't understand. That like to code a client takes tons of time. I'm curious, what was your background before? Like, were you into computer programming? Were you into business? Were you into affiliate stuff? Poker?
it's actually pretty funny that where I come from is back in college. I was going for logarithm development and computer programming, and then I had a kid and dropped out of college.
Yeah.
Started working for a living. Later on, started my own company. It's worked with newspapers for about 10 years. It's got in, saw this whole internet poker thing down in Costa Rica. I thought it was just going to blow up. Sold my company in the U.S. Right before the whole big recession. Moved down here to Costa Rica, got into the poker and casino and online stuff down here, and I've actually been down here for almost 15 years.
Oh, so you're in Costa Rica?
Yeah. I'm in
Okay,
Costa
cool.
Rica, and been like literally the gaming, the online poker industry was alive for about a year before I got involved.
Okay.
So I'm like the last guy who's not a gazillionaire. I'm your only hope.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the last guy that's still in. Everybody else is just so young and so new. But I guess that comes from a lot of experience, and then in that time, played a ton of poker. It's helped to start a training site, all behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's have basically a business background, but been working in the internet field for about 15 years.
Okay, that's very cool, and I think that's nice and reassuring, because I remember back in the day when the two companies were Full Tilt and Pokerstars.
Yep.
The reason that Full Tilt kind of went to shit was because it was run purely by poker players, and the reason
Right.
Pokerstars went huge was because from the get-go they had business minds behind it who said, we're going to run this thing like a business. So that's reassuring to know that there's a business mind behind this. Okay, this one is a bit of a question, a selfish question for me. Because and it's a selfish question for you too, because it gets you benefit, even though we don't really add much value by doing so. But what are the best methods to cash out, in particular, if someone's already playing, on the winning poker network, but they think they'd enjoy playing on a different skin instead? What would be the easiest way to get money from the site to a place where they can then get it to another site?
Well, Bitcoin is the easiest.
Bitcoin?
Right? It's the fees are nothing, and it's just super easy. It's for guys who are regulars that play all the time. You get the debit card, right? We got like a 7 Capital debit card that we send the money to the 7 Capital card. You go to an ATM, get your cash, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll send you a check, Western Union, MoneyGram. I'll ride my tricycle out there and give you nickels, dimes, and pennies if I have to.
Okay, so you guys have all the options. Is the Bitcoin stuff network wide, or is that only on ACR? Because some of these guys like I have this event today, the Friday Freedom. They're like, I want to play, but I'm on black chip poker. What's the quickest way that I can maybe get money there in the next 10 minutes? Which I think 10 minutes is probably too fast, but like within a day or two.
The quickest way would be to open an account at ACR and grab your credit card and slide it through.
And then just withdraw from the other site and
then-
deposit
then-
to the bank.
Do a withdrawal there, right?
Okay.
It's again, but that's the fastest. The other thing is plan a little bit ahead, right? It's because again, everybody's spoiled. Well, for those of us who were playing at Stars until way back in the day before Black Friday.
Net teller days.
The net teller days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. Boy, that was fun. It's the thing that they got spoiled with was. The reason they had problems is because they were doing banking in the U.S. Right? Well, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's and here's something else that was really funny. I talked to a bunch of affiliates while I was out in London, and I kind of pointed out I'd like you guys to see which law changed the day before Black Friday and the day after, because nothing changed.
Yeah.
Just Stars and Tilt got caught.
Yeah.
That's it's because they were banking in the U.S. So like poker is exactly the same. It's everybody just kind of gave up on it.
Okay, because it's you got to jump through so many hoops to be able to get your players to deposit money, and if players can't
Right.
deposit money, you don't have a site, no one makes anything. You can't make rake to then run promotions and stuff for your players, and everyone misses out. Okay,
Circle of life stuff.
Yeah, so guys, no real e-wallets, but you can charge your credit card and then deposit to your bank, and if you get booked any fees, I'll be happy to help you guys out with that because it won't be too much. And we want you guys playing through the team and not on those mystery sites that we don't support.
See? Yeah.
Okay. The last question that I